Hello and welcome everyone to the North American Challengers League. We're at the tail end of our first week of play, but boy, it has not let down, and I'm sure today will not let down as well. For the desk, my name is Deserux. For the more fancy casting desk, however, that is going to be to my friends over here, Mad Magical on the play-by-play role and Cubby on the color role. Cubby, we already cast together on the first day. I got to talk right to Alex.
I don't have a tail. You said it's the tail end. I don't have a tail.
It's the tail end of the week, Alex.
What does that mean? The week doesn't have a tail.
It is Monday. I'm kind of with Alex on that. It is the first day of the week. Might be the last day of ours, but you know.
Yeah.
A little confusing over here.
Anyways, I'm doing good. Hi, hello, hi, Eric. It's a good day. Hi, everyone in chat who's now probably going cringe.
I just wanted to ask how you were doing, Alex. I don't know why you got to bring up this topic of tails, man.
Because I want a tail.
All right. For if you're just tuning in, this is the LCS North American Challengers League, formerly known as LCS Academy, and we have gone through some changes to further development of North American talent. If you're not too familiar with them, then worry not. We have a past version of myself to provide you with better detail. Welcome to the North American Challengers League. We've gone through quite a few renovations coming into 2023, but worry not, I'll be your guide. As we prepare for the next chapter of semi-pro play, why don't I give you a tour of some of the changes we have in store. The 2023 North American Challengers League will feature an expanded 16 teams that fall into one of two categories. The 10 franchise teams from last season will be known as fixed teams. Our 6 expansion teams will be known as provisional teams. These categories have implications on relegations, one of our big new changes. Only provisional teams can be relegated. We'll talk more about this in a moment. Moving on to the regular season, which consists of a single round robin where every team in the league will face off against each other in a best of 2. At the end of the regular season, all teams will be seeded into a double elimination playoffs bracket. After 3 weeks of play, we'll have a champion crowned on March 29th. This takes us to relegations. The 4 lowest placing provisional teams will compete against the top 4 from the 2 NACL qualifiers. This promotion tournament will take place on April 17th. The top 4 teams from this promotion tournament will qualify for promotion into the NACL summer. We'll have more updates on this as we get closer to the date. With more teams, games, and opportunities for promotion, I have no doubt in my mind we're in for the most exciting season of semi-pro play yet. Be sure to catch the North American Challengers League's first day on January 21st at 1 p.m. Pacific. I'll see you there. Welcome to the North American in my mind. When I said we have no doubt in my mind that this is going to be the most exciting split of semi-pro play, I had no idea just what I was in for. Those first 2 days were kind of bonkers, Cubby.
I gotta say, our provisional teams are doing really well so far. I think that was a big surprise for most. A lot of the teams do have cores that have stuck together, and that's proving to be really sound for them in the early season as they've been able to take games off each other, and also the fixed challengers teams that we have as well. It's made for quite the interesting week 1.
Well, focusing more onto those challengers teams, we do got quite the face-off between 2 of our most established semi-pro junglers, and what a scenario, both of them fighting against their old teams. To hype that up, Kangas whipped something up for you all to get the blood pumping.
Are you ready for something big? Are you ready for a super heavyweight showdown? 2 jugglers face off against their old teams for a battle you better not miss. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner. This man is a jungler they try to deny. Silenced once, so he lets his gameplay do the talking. One of the top prospects of 2022. The man will farm camps. The man will farm neutrals. The man will farm you. It's Shaden! And his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner. This man rose from prodigy to academy, leaving a trail of destruction in his wake. In his debut split, he would push the previous year's champions to a brutal 5 games. The voice that booms from the heavens and quakes the jungle, Tomio! Get your butts in seats and throw those channel points down for a slugfest. will rise to the challenge? Find out in this week's Challengers League Super Heavyweight Smackdown!
How does Kangas do it? How in the world does Kangas
How does
do it?
Kangas do it? You wrote the music and voiced it, man. That's you too. Come on.
I'm with Cubby on this one. That's all you, bro.
Team effort.
I do it with this right here, this baby right here. But I still got to give credit to Kangas because he did that overnight. That was so quick.
That is impressive.
Yeah.
I do have one gripe, though. You said, put your butts in seats, but that got me too excited. I'm standing up now. Like, I can't sit down. I'm too excited.
I think my favorite part was throw down your channel points. I better see many channel points on game one. All right, we need to send it first series.
Yeah, get as many channel points as you can because, I mean, let's face it, this is a pretty big matchup that's going to be coming on later today. I'm very, very hyped for it. Shaden was one of my big prospects, and Tomio did oh so well last split, last season. So, yeah, it's going to be a super heavyweight SmackDown. None of you are going to want to miss it, but we got to move on to the next topic of the day, and that is going to be the NACL selection committee because, guys, we're getting closer and closer to the qualifiers. While this tournament right here does run, there will be another running concurrently that will decide our teams participating in the promotions and relegations in April. Applications for the selection committee, it ends tomorrow night at midnight. That's if you want to participate as a team. No, excuse me. That's if you want to participate in the selection committee. Excuse me.
Yes.
For the team application, it's going to close on the 25th at 1 p.m. PT. And it's going to be a blast. I'm just going to say that right now because we have so many different teams in there, a lot of big names in there. One of them that pops out just announced today, Team Fish Taco. You might know some of those names, Alorum, Dardock. I got the merch
Winter's
right
back. Yeah, Winter's back too. Pretty nice. Yeah.
Ooh.
Like that.
I will say I'm totally going to apply for the selection committee.
Can I do that
to
now?
annoy everyone again? Yeah, just to annoy
we
everyone.
don't have a match going yet. Can I do that now?
You can do it right now. Do it right now.
All right,
Or better yet,
We just got to go to
sign up as a team.
rallycly.gg/challengers.
No. Sign up as a team. We got to get the cast crew all together to participate in the quals.
Oh, I haven't
in
played
the morning,
solo
so
queue.
you could do double time.
I haven't played
You
solo
saw me
queue
on the
this
showdown.
season.
You saw how good I was. I was definitely the best player on that
Good?
team, right?
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. We'll go with good.
Eric, not Echo, not anybody else. Me, totally.
I don't know about that, Alex. I think if you were to participate, you'd be sleeping with the fishes soon after that. Let's move
Look,
on
I was
to
just
our
playing
next
Pink
topic,
Lilia,
Alex.
man. Give me a break.
Give me a break. Alex. Get out of here. I want to talk about something else. With a lot of the results that we've had so far, our provisional teams, they have been killing it lately. One of those being Wild Card. Moose Hater had some choice words for anyone who's questioning the performance of Wild Card's wins.
I was so excited. I was like, we need to start NACL a week earlier because I'm so excited to just absolutely destroy the first team we verse and then just see all the excuses from the analysts saying, actually, IMT has their LCS mid laner, not their Academy mid laner, so they weren't supposed to win this one against Wildcard. Just random excuses like that. Just they always like to make excuses, but Wildcard is easily, we're going to be a good team. So I'm confident.
Has your hairline recovered, Cubby?
Yeah, I don't know. It's that game one that they played against IMT. That was, yeah. You don't see a 8-0 Zeri lose very often. 15 minutes in, so it is what it is. But hey, at least on the bright side, our provisional teams are 7-11 so far. I'm looking pretty good today. I don't know. I feel like
Cubby, aren't you younger than me and I still have a better hairline than you?
Whoa,
Let's not talk about hairlines right now, guys. Let's not talk about hairlines.
Hold on. I prop this up, all right? A lot of work goes into this.
I can prop mine up too, and I still got a fine hairline.
You know what? I'm not part of this topic. One of the big plays that we had yesterday was Big Boy Bradley in the top lane. The back-to-back semi-pro champ off to start this week so well with the pentakill, Cubby.
And, I mean, Bradley is someone that we have such high expectations for this year. Given that 3 of his teammates went to LCS, Armeo's sitting out the split for NACL, doesn't have anything else to prove at this level, even though it really is a crime that he's not playing overall. Bradley's the one person left, and he was younger in the developmental cycle, especially given that he was swapping to top lane, but he might be the single player who I have the highest expectations for in this league, and the highest chance to go LCS next year. So to see him have a 2v5 Penna, even if the game was, kind of over, they ended it like 20 seconds after, before 20. Good start to the split for Bradley.
I would even argue that's barely a 2v5 penta. It was more like a 1v5 penta most of the time because he was fighting 3 members by himself for a while. Had a little bit of assistance right at like the end of the fight, but he had already pretty much won the fight by that point. So it's like Bradley, he's really skilled. This guy is going to honestly top charts. I wouldn't be surprised next year we see him in the LCS being one of those players to contest for the top 5 position spots in the top lane position.
So Bradley off to a great start over on that top side. Let's take a look at the standings to see how the rest of the teams are doing currently. CLG Challengers, I mean, look at that. It's their first week. It's already concluded. Fantastic start with a 4-0. But my eyes are led somewhere else into some of our top 5, top 6. Here, taking Team Liquid to a tie. Wildcard's 2-0 comeback. Even AoE battling FlyQuest to a tie. Way to go, provisional teams.
I'm excited about that. To me, when I see provisional teams picking up these wins, especially against challenger teams, like the 2-0 from Wildcard, I'm kind of glad Moose Hater had the interview afterwards to talk about it. Because sure, the game 1, you could get a little bit tilted if you're Cubby over here about how the results ended up being. But the second game, you can't argue with what happened. That was very much off the back. Like Moose Hater's Garen during that entire time was absolutely gargantuan. Nobody could deal with it. They deserved that 2-0 victory over IMT. And honestly, I would argue that with having the LCS starter playing for Academy, you should have a really strong lane in mid lane, yet they were still able to beat them. That's a huge sign for Wildcard. I'm not saying anything against IMTC. I'm saying everything for Wildcard.
Yeah, not just that too, but CLG, that 4-0 start, having the core 4 from the summer lineup and then adding Compy to the mix, someone that we felt like was an upgrade for CLG. Really good start for them. They were playing the 1-3-1s well with the flanks, and so they're topping the tables right now.
Mm-hmm. I remember Myra had referred to the wildcard win as the test of Garen. Whether you ban or not, whether you keep it or not. Let's take a look at the matchups that we're going to having. Words, they're very hard for me today. That we will be
hard for everyone
today. It will be Cloud9 Challengers, very first match of the day, to take on Evil Geniuses Challengers, followed up by Team Liquid first. There we go. I always have to think about which one it's going to be with Dignitas Challengers. And we're going to round it out at the end of the day with CLG Faith versus Fly Fam. Any matches stand out to you guys? Starting with
Yes,
Bobby.
first one. Let's talk about it. Move on. Come on.
Wait,
Get going.
bro. Okay, come on. You're just going to forget about the last one? I'm
not
actually
forgetting.
excited about
I want to talk about the first one. We're running late. Let's go.
All right. Fine. We can talk about that when we get to it. We'll talk about this series now.
All right. Our first matchup of the day, Cloud9 Challengers versus Evil Geniuses Challengers. Something we've really hyped up because of that jungle pool run. Cubby, go ahead.
Yes, so this to me is one of the most fascinating things that happened this offseason. It was C9 and EG actually made a trade. Like, this wasn't just an offseason where Tomio got picked up by C9 and then Shaden just so happened to be picked up by EG. This was a trade of 2 prospects between 2 teams, which I find fascinating overall in the league. So with Tomio and C9, he is surrounded by so much experience with Fake God, Zazel, Loss, and also MNS, who is also trying to be developed by C9. And then EG, they get Shaden, who originally was supposed to come up with Jojo Pion. Back when it was the contracts here in 2021, Shaden was comp banned, so Shaden wasn't able to play on that roster with Jojo, but now he's back with EG. Find this trade very fascinating behind the scenes, and I'm really excited to see them go toe-to-toe today.
Yeah, on the other side of the rift is going to be Evil Geniuses Challengers. I know you're itching to say something right here, Alex, so I'll let you take it away.
I mean, I got to squint to see the names here, so don't worry, we're on the same boat there. But honestly, I'm still excited about this team because if you look back to their series on Saturday, sure, with 2 subs, Robbie Bob and Mobility playing in, they both outperformed in that first game. They both played phenomenally. Robbie Bomb's Rise too. He got that 1v2 kill in top lane by himself when he wasn't even particularly fed at that moment, playing into a Malzahar that was supposed to be kind of the counter pick to him. And then Mobility on Jhin as well. Perfect position, was able to play around how his team was. The only problem was in game 2, unfortunately, they didn't have quite the same success, but it's still going to really be about how they play around Shaden and how Shaden then plays with their bot lane, especially them being subs.
I'm taking a look at some of the clips that are about to show down right now.
Oh, I love this play from Shaden.
I want to bring this attention right back to this jungle match. Yeah, this is beautiful right here.
Oh
Shaden,
my god.
This is one of the first big plays that we actually saw from Shaden very early on in the summer split.
So Shaden's background is that before he started with C9 in summer, he hit rank 1 and rank 2 simultaneously in NA. Someone that just is a freakishly talented mechanical player. You can see some of it right there, outplaying Insanity on the LeBlanc in the back half, really clean Viego mechanics. He's someone that we really believe has this incredibly high ceiling as a player. I know talking with EG, they've been really positive about what it's been like to work with Shaden so far this split, and it really feels like the sky is the limit for Shaden. He has the hands, he has the good brain for jungle. It's just about giving him more time in the system to develop and learn how to play 5v5s and just give him room to limit tests, make mistakes, but also improve.
But what about his opponent in this super heavyweight showdown, Alex?
Sorry, I had to do that really quick. Honestly, Tomio is someone that I always love watching because, one, his personality is great. He's such a fun person, but also because when he plays, like, it has direction. When a team is giving him where he needs to be and what he needs to do, the guy is perfect for being in those positions. A lot of people kind of criticize him for sometimes being a little bit brain off in fights, but the guy is still mechanically gifted. He knows how to make these plays work really well when he needs to try to find these engages to set up his team. And big things are, like, I love his dives. His dives especially are always his highlights.
I mean, Shaden for me was one of my big prospects to pick last summer. I'm excited to see what he's going to bring into this next season, but it's not the only interesting matchup we have here. Zeyzal and Smoothie, two supports that have been part of Cloud9, two supports that have gone to Worlds under that roster.
Yeah, and the thing about them, it's funny because I believe it was 2016, 2017 for Smoothie, and then 2018, 2019 for Zeyzal. So they pretty much went with C9 in 4 years consecutively, right after one another during their tenure. Like, Zeyzal even was the replacement for Smoothie back when they had a little bit of those issues back in 2018 when they were trying to figure out how they wanted to have their roster. They benched Sneaky and Jensen at the same time, and then Zeyzal ended up being a mainstay on the LCS roster, bringing them to Worlds. So seeing how he kind of competes against Smoothie, this player who, in my mind, is drafted for being a big shot caller, someone who's very vocal and loud, is also going up against someone who's a great shot caller in their own right in Zeyzal.
It's a really fun story, like, behind the scenes. Just, I think it does speak a lot to how good C9 was at developing talent very early on in the ecosystem. And for me, I think it's an exciting split for both players because Smoothie, he was playing remote last split. I believe he's still remote at the moment, but he's going to be in person for EG this split once that visa is secured, which means lower ping as the default server here is LA. And also Zeyzal just being back and competitive. He's someone that I've always thought very, very highly of when he was competing. He's someone that does make up the majority of his team's comms in the past. He is definitely a shot caller that wants a lot of airspace. And Zeyzal has always been a good performer when he has been competing. So the fact that he's back now with C9, he was helping Coach Sven last summer. Now he's back playing this spring. I have a lot of faith in Zeyzal as a player. I've always thought he's very good, very talented. And him and Lost have the chance to really be a bot lane to beat here in Challengers and NACL.
All right, well, it is all set. Stage ready for the super heavyweight showdown that we have between both of these rosters, Cloud9 Challengers and Evil Geniuses Challengers. We are ready for draft right now, so I will bid you both adieu. Have a good time on the game.
Thank you, Eric. We'll see you on the other side, but we do got to get this heavyweight showdown underway. I'm excited to see how these two teams will combat one another. C9 Challengers, they have their whole roster, which it's kind of unusual when you think about it in retrospect, right? Because Cloud9, back last year, both splits had to deal with subs in the first couple of weeks. While Evil Geniuses, they usually were the team that had everyone already together. So having that reverse of tides and reverse of fates going into this first one, but still, I don't think it matters too much for EGC because they have some of their main components being Smoothie and Shaden.
Yeah, it is nice, you know, having at least 3 out of 5. And I know the Oceanic visas across the board were more difficult this year. Even thinking of LCS being affected, like, we don't have Winsome playing this week because he's playing with the LCS team because Ayla is still, you know, in Korea at the moment. So yeah, it's the beginning of the season. Unfortunately, these are some of the things that teams have to deal with, and hopefully EG can get that full roster in soon. I think it's going to be a little bit for them, but we will see. But we do have to focus on what is in front of us, Mad Magical, as we have a Varus being locked in, and importantly, Ashe and Jhin being taken away. The bot lane that EG played in both of their games against Team Liquid first.
Smoothie could not miss an arrow. He was hitting every single one. I think he had something like a 94% accuracy in those games. That's insane for an Ashe to hit that many arrows, especially because most of them were long range. But that also leaves a new bot lane that has to be played by both of them. They both played Jhin and Ashe last series we saw on Saturday. Mobility and Smoothie have to find what adaptations they can have here, because with that Varus picked up, the Karma being a possibility, something that kind of works with a lot of that poke in lane. I'm curious what they want to pair with it.
I'm really curious because Heimerdinger's up, and Heimer has been a champion that we've seen hit the ban list very often, so could be an option here for Zeyzal. Karma brings a lot of shove into the bot lane early, also denies one of the better pairings with Varus, but keep in mind, this can be flexed mid, so a little bit of potential to flex here for EG. I will say they lack damage at the moment, so really curious what they end up taking for their damage rolls.
There's that Heimerdinger you were just highlighting, picked up by Zeyzal. That's going to be a difficult lane to deal with, but if you're able to catch them before they can set up, that's actually something you can look to punish, especially because you have a lot of poke and a lot of an ability to clear out some of those turrets from both Ezreal and Karma. I almost said Ashe.
Well, as we are halfway through the draft, big surprise, we have bot lanes locked in with junglers. So bans going elsewhere.
That seems familiar, doesn't it, Cubby?
Quite possibly. So I will say Robbie Bob, very much a mage player, given his time in history. He's actually spent a lot of time below NACL and also has a collegiate championship now to his name with the University of St. Thomas. So I gotta say, the Azir and Silas being taken away, maybe we have a Syndra being set up here for Robbie Bob.
It's gotta be. With the Azir, Gassonen banned, the Silas gone, but no, Robbie Bob going on to Galio. I believe this is what he played in the second game last time around. Let me double check my stats really quick.
And I gotta say, by Galio, that's a very easy way to engage in the backline. It sets up for a potential Camille too, that is open for Soul, a champion that he's always been comfortable with. But Kassante's on the board. I'm expecting that to be picked up here for Fake God. It actually is something that Fake God did not play in the first series, but could opt for instead.
Kassante.
Okay. Jax?
All right. I'm a little curious on that one. Fake God, you got to respect him. The guy, he played in the LCS. A lot of people talked about how he didn't really have that drive and seemed like he wasn't playing to his fullest. But he bounces back this year and says, you know what? No, that's not true. I'm here to win. I'm here to dominate. He gets this Jax blind, and they get M&S onto a Vex blind. Well, kind of blind as well, because Galio or Karma could flex around. It really depends.
We expect the Galio to be mid. I gotta say, the Vex, I'm usually not a huge fan of Vex, but I like it here. If you can connect on the Karma or Ezreal, you can blow up the backline, have a lot of wombo potential with the Wukong, with the Varus. So I like the pick here for M&S, who has really made a strong impression in his first series. Absolutely blew Blaze and FlyFam out of the water with his mid lane play. Some of that has been praised for his mechanics coming over to North America. I think both mid picks for C9 being very influenced by Viger V2, who is their mid lane positional coach, and M&S making it look like that's paying off with how he's played in that first series. See if he can continue it now in the Vex.
Well, when I was doing research on M&S, was kind of looking at the champion pool that he has, LeBlanc was the clear standout as not his most played, but his highest win rate. He is damn good. He's got a 90% win rate, so it's 9 out of 10 games. In fact, I believe the only loss he had was something like 2 years ago. And ever since, he's just been winning every single time he plays it. We got to see it. We got to get treated by that on Saturday when he pretty much showed Blaze what's up, how mid lane is going to be if you give him a good matchup into that LeBlanc. But Vex was the other champion that I noticed a lot of highlight plays from M&S and into something, as you kind of called out with the Ezreal, the Karma. If you can attach, especially your ult to Ezreal, there's no way he can get around you. You're going to follow that up no matter where he goes.
It could also potentially blow cooldowns out of the Vi early, but we are on the Rift, Mad Magical, and I gotta say,
yes, we are.
Early for EG, I think that they're gonna have some push in the bot lane. Ezreal Karma can deal with the Heimer turrets rather well, but it does look like it's actually the poke Varus, so a big emphasis here on laning and the early damage, maybe trying to contest some of what EG has in the mid lane, as Galio, of course, can move early and make a lot of plays.
Kind of hoping that Lost ends up pivoting fully to AP. But without the Hail of Blades, it's probably not likely. I just like that build. You can hate me for it all you want.
No, I do like that build. I feel like it gives you poke Varus with more scaling. What I will say is that there already is a lot of magic damage between Vex and Heimer, so I don't think we're going to see that this game.
Well, it's also the fact Hail of Blades. He didn't go for that. Usually that's kind of what you want when you have the AP Vars. But either way, you're right. There is a lot of AP that will come out of both Heimerdinger and out of Vex. Let's turn our attention and kind of try to focus on how these two junglers are going to be, because those are really the two heroes we set up at the beginning, the heavyweight showdown, and they're both starting on their respective blues.
So in the early season, we've seen the vast majority of junglers work their way bot, as bot lane has been the big emphasis for pretty much every team. Curious, though, to see Shaden work his way towards the top side. It makes me think maybe they think they can catch Fake God off guard, as he has opted for this grass build. Enables Jax to have a much stronger lane. You're going to get poked out by the Gnar, but with grasp, it at least enables you, whenever you have Leap Strike up, to proc that and have a lot stronger lane.
Man, look at this bot lane. Lost in Zeyzal. Poor mobility. He's got to face off against two players that are absolutely insane. Both LCS players that have played in the past, even both having been to Worlds at one point.
Yeah, and Lost for me, I mean, the last time that Lost was playing semi-pro, it was when he was on TSM Academy, and him and Treats were the best bot lane in the league. Lost was very impressive during that time of Academy. He's actually someone that I feel like, yeah, he didn't have his best last year, but when he was on TSM, I thought he got a lot of flack that wasn't really deserved from the community. So, you know, coming down to NACL, just like for everyone else, it's a good chance for Lost to prove himself, learn some things again. Really want to see if he can up his game with Zeyzal. I have high hopes for this bot lane.
I'm glad you said that about Lost, because Lost has definitely gotten the short end of the stick. He's been on a couple of bad teams, like in the last couple of years. But I don't feel like a lot of that's been his fault. He's been playing to his best ability and actually getting really good stats in said games, despite having a team that's got a below 25% win rate.
Well, he has a good chance to punish here against Mobility, who actually is the marksman for Winthrop University.
Yes.
Asked to sub in, and great opportunity for him to pick up some experience. Going to be challenged against Lost and Zeyzal, especially with the Varus Heimer lane that does have so much push and pressure, as they are putting that down now. Ezreal Karma have been able to somewhat deal with the turrets, but the power of Varus early has been very impressive.
Varus Heimerdinger, too.
Yeah, this is all C9 with this early push, so maybe that's why Shadow is working his way towards the top side, just to enable full clears, as each jungler now rotating to that crab at about the same time.
Makes sense, too, with Vi. Vi can gank early on, but you really do like having that cease and desist available, so you can look for a lot cleaner dives or ganks, especially against someone who's going to be really mobile, like Mobility on Ezreal.
Yeah, and we might see them be challenged here as Tomio. He's got red buff in 4.
All right, let's see what he can get. Oh, Smoothly took a huge chunk from that piercing arrow. Mobility got a lot of damage back on Tomio, but it was not enough to save his own life, because here's the dive coming in from Lost and Zeyzal. They're poking at him. They're wailing away. It's 2 kills bot lane.
And that Varus Heimer priority pays off for C9. Tomio working his way bot. No answer here for Shaden. Bot lane dive was not able to be dodged by Smoothie or Mobility, and C9's off to a huge lead in this one.
And also, I misspoke. When I talked about Vi, I was meaning to talk about Wukong and how he needs to get on Mobility, who's going to be very mobile. But you see right there, sure, you have to deal with that mobility, but if you have just enough damage and you poke him out low enough, who needs to worry about his dash?
A nice side step from Smoothie, but still eats all the damage from the Varus Q, the Heimer W. And the shield on Mobility, I get, but maybe if Smoothie's able to shield himself, can get the heal again on the W and make this dive hard with the root, as he did use the empowered W. That doesn't go through, though, and C9...
Can we talk just about how impressive that jungle aggro was from Lost, Zeyzal, and Tomio?
Yeah, it was really well done. Really well done.
Like, Lost perfectly would time it where he'd get that auto attack underneath the turret side, a step back just enough to get rid of the aggro to go back in for that each next successive auto attack.
Well played early in the season by our Challenger squad, C9. Again, a team that does have a lot more experience around them. Definitely a team that we feel like is really trying to develop Tomio and Eminez. Those two players that are going to get the time, attention from the experience of the other players on the roster. So expect them to, be handling things like that well, given their competitive experience, and really good to see, as on the back half, at least, EG get a slight consolation prize, taking that early dragon. Important for their comp is, again, Vi Galio. They will fall off later in the game. So now they have that first dragon. I'm really expecting to still see EG try and play around this first Herald.
That's what I was going to ask you
strong
next.
point for this comp, yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I was looking at the timer. Sure, it's only 6 minutes in, but you're behind 2,000 gold. If you're EG, you've got the dragon, which will help a little bit, but you need to make sure you can get at least next neutral objective, be that if you want to focus on getting a second dragon of the game or the Rift Herald. I'm glad you mentioned the Rift Herald, because with bot lane and how it is right now, you need something to help crack how difficult Lost and Zeyzal are, and how annoying they are with their additional poke.
It's pretty brutal right now for EG, as you can see Zeyzal even eating tower shots just to hit an E. That was an empowered Q there from Lost, so again, mobility down a level, very low. And
it's down to 20 CS already, too.
And Tomio is actually coming for the revisit. There is flash up for mobility.
Leave him. They don't need him.
Oh my god.
They don't even need him. Robbie Bob was rotating around with Shaden, but mobility almost got taken out by Lost and Zeyzal without any benefit coming in from Tomio.
Well, another wave down, and now Tomio trying to use that pressure to get on the blue buff. Shaden's trying to sneak away the crop. He's close to 6, but this is tough right now for EG.
There's nothing they can do. You forfeit this blue buff, honestly. Unless Shaden can spite it away from Tomio, that's the best hope. And
that is one
Tomio on top
down.
of it, he was able to get it pretty easily.
Yeah, honestly, I really love the fact they aren't pushing for the Gromp. Just going to take the reset to match the bot lane. Because, again, if they did push for the Gromp, Shaden does have that smite up. So, C9 not only showing aggression, but also discipline at the right time early.
Also, it's funny. We hyped up this jungle matchup and how that's going to be. We're seeing a lot of these lanes be really where the battles have taken place. Bot lane, Tomio was able to get a good gank off, but Lost and Zeyzal were already getting the leads that enabled that. I'm waiting to see now where Shaden will first make his mark on this map, because
oh, heads up.
Soul is not in a good position against Fake God. He just gets one shot, essentially.
Fake God's back. As you said, Mad Magical, Fake God, when he took a break at the end of 2022, kind of cited personal motivation, but he's back. He's motivated. He's playing damn well. That Korean boot camp that he had personally really helped him out, and going up against EG, and actually, Kelsey Moser, part of EG's staff, did originally coach Fake God with 100 Thieves Academy, taking advantage of his opportunities in the top lane, showing Soul what's up and getting ahead in this game as C9, again, cruising to victory. It is just winning all 3 lanes now as Eminez. We haven't looked at mid lane a lot, but with the Vex, with the range, he's built up a CS lead as well.
And I know you want to talk about that, but I still want to get the conversation on Fake God versus Soul. Because Soul is one of these players we went into the split expecting to have our eyes on throughout all of it. But last series that he had against Team Liquid first, Surdy really was angry against them. He brought some revenge into that matchup. And here, Fake God is kind of on a similar trajectory. Sure, it's not got the personal background that matchup had between Surdy and Soul. This one is Fake God getting his redemption tour. He's going down the, at least at the moment, route of Dokla and trying to show that he deserves to get back into the LCS.
It's been off to a good start this split, as we do have a play. Oh!
But Tomio's here, so they can't really go for it. They're getting a lot of damage on it. Robbie Bob. That's going to be second. That's the follow-up with the dash and the kill for Tomio. They could look for resets, and they don't even need it. They got a double kill out of Wukong. Tomio, he's got to flex his muscle there because he is looking strong.
Really nice Vex play there from Eminez, and Tomio the hover at the right time. Once that dash was burned from Shaden, I like the flash and trying to hold the flash at Eminez. But once Tomio shows, that play's over. And C9, again, just blitzing this map. If they hadn't gotten a lead mid already, well, there it is. That's a huge one. It is a 5k gold deficit 10 minutes into this game, Mad Magical.
And let's look at where that goal is. You have a 1,500 gold lead for Tomio in this game over Shaden. I talked about how the bot lane was looking really strong, and they were the ones really getting these leads initially, and might even look for a little bit more, waiting for the piercing arrow, not going to connect. Instead, I got to stop talking about anything substantial because we have fights just across the board. Fake God, he tried to flash away, but the wallop was there, and the bounce around, so Shaden, he gets on the board.
Well played from Soul. The proactive flash means the flash from Fake Guide is null.
Oh,
Shaden
no.
finds something on the map.
They didn't see Tomio. Now they see him and they realize they're in danger. Help, help, I'm in danger. Tomio, leave me alone. Go away, I don't have mana. I have flash. But barely, Mobility will move himself under the turret.
All right, only going to be one bonk for Tomio, but again, the bot lane for EG in trouble. Mobility is playing on higher ping, and, you know, is subbing in. Definitely someone that doesn't have as much experience as everyone else on the map, and that's showing a little bit this game as, oh boy, C9, it has been all them.
I mean, every lane you look at is completely C9 favored. They've gotten 4 plates mid lane with the help of Shelly. They've gotten 3 plates bot lane without any help, and 1 plate top lane for Fake God with the next
They had some help bot. They had some help bot lane, you know? There was a couple times from Tomio.
Okay, bro, did they... Be honest with yourself. Did they actually need that?
Yeah, they got kills, man. I mean, you don't need it, but you want it for sure.
You want it. Yes, a kill's a kill. I'll definitely agree with that. But are you trying to say that Lost and Zazel, who were getting Mobility and Smoothie down to 25% health on average every single time they showed up to lane, really, truly needed help?
I mean, do you need whipped cream on your sundae? No. But do you want it?
No, I can't argue with that. Same with sprinkles. Yep. Anyways, here's Fake God getting ganked in the top lane again. But this time, he pops the Keeper's Might, trying to get away with the TP from M&S. So Fake God realizes, he's like, I'm here to rumble. Let's go, baby! It's the show match, and Jaden is dead.
Love the TP from M&S, and again, really unique on the Vex. Oh, that's a big ult from Robbie Bob.
That's a huge ult from Soul, too, making sure that he punted back Fake God. And bot lane, the corrupting chains connect while M&S was able to get a kill top lane with Tomio getting his own in the bot lane. Unstoppable. Robbie Bob looking for vengeance on M&S, and he will at least get a little bit of crumbs back from C9 Challengers.
Action everywhere. EG has to make this game messy as they're already out of it. And honestly, respect for what they're doing on the top side. I do want to get a second look at how M&S was able to trade out another kill. But this Leandri's on Vex, also a unique build, but he's going up against 3 health stackers. I really like it, and M&S continues to make a strong debut. I remember talking with some of their people that have worked with M&S. Everyone that has gone up against him says this guy has great mechanics, really good hands. It's just about really settling into NA and making sure that he's set comfortable for this upcoming year, as I think that really plays into what M&S can do and the potential that he has, because every high that this guy has hit has proven that he can be an LCS player. And man, the starts of the split that he's having has just been fantastic.
All right, so we got to look at the extended trade top lane for you and see exactly how M&S was able to turn this around, because Fake God, in fact, he turned this around too. I love this. He's about to go back and retreat, then he's like, wait, M&S just TP'd. I'm fighting this.
And again, this is where Vex is so good. These quick, bursty fights where you can just get on top of the backline and murk everyone. As I will say that
from Soul down.
Yeah, the ult from Soul was really nice. That was a little bit too deep from Fake God, but ends up going down. Oh, he wasn't out of range.
Yeah.
Okay. Good try. He found the W, just wasn't able to get out of range quite yet. M&S gets a bonus ones. But hey, good play from Robbie Bob and Shaden again, just at least trying to do something positive. You can see EG in the picture-in-picture on our lower third here. Now back to live. They're still looking at the top side, and M&S a little bit wiser to it this time.
It's like, I almost feel they still could have probably fought that, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie, but it was smart that he spotted that. Now Tomio was just like, I get a free jungle, thank you very much. That's how he sings, right?
I mean, I would sure hope so. I was trying to find the Tomio RAR clip from like his CQ days with Voldabear when he ults in and like he actually goes RAR.
That's such a good clip. You gotta find that. Tomio too. We gotta just send that out to him, because right now he's about to go RAR, but with a monkey instead. So that's smart. Like as he looks for Robbie Bob, but a double taunt, nicely done, getting the knock onto Tomio. It is really difficult, and here comes Soul getting the flash from Tomio. So he does make monkey noises, but running away instead.
I gotta say, Rift Herald's up. The HP is low. Shaden can look.
Yeah, looking for M&S. They've got the follow-up damage. They're trying to make sure he's rooted in place, and he will be. They've got him dead, and giving the shutdown to mobility will be massive as the Chain of Corruptions went wide from Lost.
Oh, Pokefair still does so much damage, though, in this early game, and it's still an AK Gold lead. They have to try and stick the Herald. Fake God shoving bot, so he's getting a lot for himself. But again, EG, they need to utilize the Vi Galio while they can to try and make plays, and props to them. They're punishing C9 here a bit.
So look at Zazel. Zazel, the support, is chasing away 3 members of EGC by himself. Now that Tomio shows up, they really realize, okay, look, Zazel, he is alien here. He is foreign to us, especially because he's playing, you know, the alien invasion Heimerdinger skin, just saying. But they don't want to even fight him. He's just going to be too strong for any of them to really contend against unless they can jump on him before he can set up.
And that Rywise rush is going to have so much value against this pretty heavy melee topside, too, that does have the gold on their shoulders at the moment. So, Zazel really set up for success. It is worth mentioning, we do have a Hextech Soul on the Rift, and you got to believe that C9, now that they're going to be grouped up and have all their cooldowns available, this Dragon's theirs.
Oh yeah, there's no real way to contest this if you're EGC. You look at it and you're like, okay, it would be nice if maybe Shaden could guess my seal, but the fact Zazel is confident enough to take the gate into the opposing jungle by himself, you know how far ahead they are.
No, that just proves that he's definitely watched barrel VODs, you know? Just play as far up as you can. If you die, you die. But we're going to get control.
Does that mean Beryl was watching my VODs? Because that's always how I play.
No.
Are you sure?
No. Yeah.
That's always how I play support.
Nope, we're not trading VODs. We're trading objectives elsewhere. As EG is on the top side, second Rift Herald, some more gold in the soul, like the cross map here is again that Dragon was not able to be contested.
Good call. I mean, I can't say anything against it. I thought you were gonna grant it a little bit more there, Cubby. Give us a little bit more.
Yeah, I do love support play. Just you know,
flashing forward is objectively the best play you could ever make. Flash is an offensive summoner spell.
Hey, we saw Soul use it that way earlier. You know, that's good stuff.
It should always be used that way.
Yeah.
You save Flash. If you're gonna die, you're gonna die. It's just gonna happen. But if you can flash forward and get kills, even better. It's kill's a kill. Dragon to dragon, soul's a soul. And now, in this game, we're saying that nobody's really close to getting that soul. X-Tech Dragon will be up in about 4 minutes, but the Baron at 2. And even though that nice trade of objectives did happen for EGC, we can see once the map resets, C9 still have full control. They have nearly 8,000 gold ahead of EGC. They can have Fake God walk up, take the final outer primary turret. So now there's only the inners left, where EGC don't really have that control to fight back against Tomio as Vi for Shaden.
And again, for EG, I think it's just all about these cease and assists into the Galio ult, right? Just try and get the trampoline going on
well,
some
I will
of the big
say they
members
do
for
have
C9.
they do have the biggest power spike they have in the game. They at least have 1 Radiant Virtue.
That is big. That will help.
But actually, no, that's all I'm saying. It's actually big.
I gotta say, I don't exactly know what EG is looking for. Like, the Ezreal does give them a little bit of nice scaling as the game goes on, but you're down 8k gold right now. And it is worth mentioning that it does look like it's going to be the Kraken Slayer Ezreal build, which has been seeing more play, and into Navori next. So this Ezreal will be doing... It's a very high DPS build for Ezreal.
And Tomio, he might be a level down. I think he was able to snipe that away. Yeah, he was. Oh, no!
Way too.
The dash wasn't good enough, so he had to flash. Getting the flash out of Shade. Also, you know, I wasn't really hyping up Tomio before, but he is 5-0 at this point. He is scary on this monkey.
I mean, that's where the bot lane dies paid off, man, Magical. We can't ignore those. Oh,
No.
we're going.
Double
We have
taunt,
Mega.
cease and desist. Here's going to be the Wombo combo. Looking for M&S, but he flashed away to be able to stay safe. And they got Shade.
Nice fear.
There's gone. They've got the charge into the wall, but Soul, you put your own soul on the line, and the dash in from the shadow surge is huge, and they wipe the floor with EGC.
Oh my god, the value of Vex and how M&S played that, so impressive from him as the flash out of the Galio combo into a full wipe with a fight. Beautiful play from the new mid laner for Cloud9 Challengers.
What a play. Honestly, everything about that play was perfect. from C9C. It was such great team coordination.
Okay, well, so in this replay, watch how M&S is able to use the fear. Soul has Mega. He's going to flash away from this combo. He cancels Soul mid-jump, so he can't follow up with the Mega Gnar. Instead, it's late. It only catches one. It allows C9 to reposition. And then how M&S repositions on the back half, that all into another three-man fear. The Q, everything connects. Well-deserved triple kill for M&S. What a huge play from him.
They got the full house, too. 2 kills for Zeyzal, 3 for M&S. Beautiful plays from Cloud9, and this is why a lot of people have talked about this team being one of the top teams we will probably see in NA Challengers League, just because M&S is this upcoming prospect that a lot of people have talked about before, how skilled he is. We can see here, Soul tries to get away, but he couldn't even go Mega in time.
Yeah, he's a bit fat at this point. In C9, yeah, they're going for the 4-0 start. 3-0 looks pretty promising here, as Gnar is off the map, and Baron looking to be next as C9. Yeah, that's the Mega turret being used. That's full burn. Man, what a great game from C9. This game plan, taking the Varus Heimer bot lane, just blitzing this Ezreal Karma, really gave EG no chance to be in this game as C9 just took control from that first jungle clear with the dive from Tomio.
Well, and it's funny, because whenever you look at an Ezreal Karma lane, you're always like, it's got a lot of poke, it's difficult to deal with. Well, if you watch Zeyzal, if you go back to the tape and watch how he placed a lot of these turrets, it was always to deny the last hit on minions, or to deny a hit onto himself, a hit onto Lost. It was perfect placement that kept Lost in that position where he could bully around the bot lane, and the bot lane then led to Tomio ganking the bot lane, getting those kills, getting a snowball, which led to M&S being able to join in the fights, look for Fake God in the top lane, who is winning the 1v1 duels against Soul.
Everything going well here as, speaking of M&S, well, it looks like Vex has a nice new hat to wear. That's gonna feel good in the inventory. And EG, last stand, here we go.
They're looking for picks. It's a 3v5 at the moment. They're going to get the taunt on Zeyzal. Lots of damage. But Tomio, the space making he just did. He might kill Shaden before anyone can do help. They've got the heal. They've got one at least. Zeyzal's gone, but M&S, he's in the backline. That's a lot of damage, baby. The rest of EGC, they can't do anything. M&S even threatening to dive the turret, just takes it without minions.
M&S waiting for his moment. EG so far behind. Heimer goes down, but Zeyzal pumped out so much damage before he did. And C9 again just cruising to victory as, I gotta say, COG, they were the one team that was 4-0 coming into today. They had some games that where they looked good, but they were tested. C9 have yet to be tested. The first 3 games that C9 have played, I know it's a sub-squad in EG. I know that FlyFam's one of the younger, the less experienced teams we have, but they have been so dominant this week 1. We really can't help but praise what they've done in the Rift.
I'm just watching smoothly in this fight. I just want to see how much damage he takes.
Oh, that stopwatch from Zeyzal was so good. It forced the Mega Gnar out of Soul. So again, it's not appealing tool when M&S comes in and then through the Galio shield too. That's a thick pop right there.
I mean, he is 6 levels over him, so
yeah, that small little Yordle. She might look like she's a little bit bummed, but oh my,
okay,
she sure packs a pop.
I don't know if it's the 2nd or 3rd game that M&S has just gone for Magi's. I know he got it when he was playing LeBlanc and he was single-handedly carrying that game, and here he's got it again.
I mean, I feel like the Magi's is late.
It's a little late, yeah.
Earlier, you know?
That he did last time. Last time, I think it was his 2nd item he built on LeBlanc.
No, I mean, the game's about to be over. I don't love talking about items and item builds, but, you know, we'll go into this.
It's Magi's.
No, you have 10 stacks, and it also procs the passive from the mythic passive from your mythic item, so it counts as a legendary.
I don't care.
No, it's a cheap legendary, so it's actually a very efficient buy here from M&S.
Yeah, I still don't care. It's Magi's. Magi's is Magi's. That's all.
You just love to read.
I like reading, and I also like stacks. I miss the days of, what was it, Sword of the Occult too, where you can have like all the stacks. And talking about stacks, that's another one into the chapters of M&S. Even if Tomio was able to get the kill, and he flashed in just to get the Cyclone. Shadow Surge does connect. Oh, come on, M&S. Do it.
No. He goes to the fountain if he takes that one. I know you would have loved to see that, but MS is going to be a little bit wiser to it as C9 putting the finishing touches on this game. Really, the game plan, Tomio working towards bot, making the dive successful. That took bot lane out of it. the counter gank top from Eminez. That took top lane out of it. And the counter gank mid for Tomio. That took mid lane out of it. All C9 in this first game.
Methodical. Every game we've watched of EGC so far has been methodical. This team, you can tell the practice, the dedication they're all putting into these games. All working so well with one another. Dazel's shot calling, you can tell, works really well with this bot lane, getting Tomio. Eminez just being a dominant mid laner. Probably, arguably, might be the best mid laner we have in the Challengers League at the moment with the past few performances. Sure, it's early season, but he has been, I think he hasn't had a single game with less than 5 kills.
I mean, it kind of helps like when your whole team's just been rolling. Eminez has been a big part of that.
He's been also doing that by himself.
Yeah, he had many solo kills against boys in the first series. None against Robbie Bob today, but still, Eminez, the impact that he's had on the map has been huge. Is that all? We'll go wide, but lower cooldown now for Vex, hitting level 16. Last inhibitor turret being taken. EG, we'll see where their last stand will be. They have the potential to wombo, just don't have the gold to make it count, and Smoothie doesn't have the health bar to stick around.
I was about to say, I feel like their last stand was quite some time ago. Now it's just a slaughter. They are put into the butcher's house. Even if they got M&S, they got him shut down, but what's left of the base, they just can wombo combo themselves. They don't need M&S. They are all fed. They are all far ahead, and in the heavyweight SmackDown, round 1 definitively will go to Tomio and Cloud9 Challengers.
Great game from C9C. I mean, they took lane priority. Bot, they were able to counter mid, and they really cashed in individually on those two. Fake God played that matchup well, and that of the solo kill himself. On the top side, the team supported everyone once their lanes got a lead. And I don't know what else to say about this team, man. They look like the scariest team that we have right now in the league.
Gotta agree with you. For now, we're gonna toss it to a break. When we come back, we'll bring back Desurect so he can talk about his thoughts on the heavyweight SmackDown. Make sure you stay tuned.